Hey everybody, we are back for round one. Tails never fails. Well, forget I said anything. We're going to go ahead and mulligan. And we're going to start with our best starter. Nice. Opponent's playing the all dragon sleeves and, maybe the dragon deck. 3 dragons. It's the new guy. Okay, let's see what the Stratini does. Seems reasonable. Our opponent's probably playing the Dragonite from Roaring Skies, attaches and passes. Just going to take a second to look up what that card actually does. I forget. I guess there's actually 2, so I don't know which one they're playing. Alright, let's not worry about that quite yet. Let's just fire off a laser. And not really looking to attach a DCE here, and also not looking to discard them. So I think, despite our opponent not playing any supporters, we're just going to go ahead and fire off the N. There's a Verbank that'll help. This will also help. And wow, this is the first time I've ever done this. Let's draw 3. Nice. Alright, Ultra Ball. Let's discard like this to find a Seismitoad. Play it. No reason to play the laser. We could try and lock our opponent, but they have evolutions anyway, so I'm not too concerned with that. So yeah, let's just go ahead and end the turn. Reasonable turn 1. Obviously, we wish we would have gotten a Quaking Punch off, but we can't always have that, and the fact that we have a Shaman, we have a Seismitoad, a Victini that's ready to retreat, a laser in hand, we can hope to find a DCE off the Juniper, so nothing to be concerned about right now. I guess us getting paralyzed would not be great, but our opponent's without lightning energy. Oh, there it is. But even with 2 switches in the deck, we definitely want to get the lock off as early as possible, but being paralyzed for a turn if we don't find a switch isn't the worst thing in the world. Opponent taking a little bit of time to think through their actions. 4 cards left in their hand. They have evolved into the other Dragonair and attached. And there's a Pokemon Fan Club. Alright. Pokemon Fan Club, I think, is one of the most balanced cards in Standard. I'm assuming that it'll see a lot more play once the format rotates. I really kind of like that effect of, the Pokemon Collector, Roseanne's Research, kind of a combination of those 2 cards, just letting you go ahead and take 2, not overpowered, doesn't, being able to take things like Shaman EX are certainly overpowered, but doesn't really cause any trouble, just a nice solid card. And we drew the DCE, which is nice. Let's go ahead and laser again. Juniper Fine Switch. No, not quite. Muscle Band. 70 HP. That's unfortunate. And, yep, no other place. We'll go ahead and shift the turn back. Not the most exciting turn by us, but our opponent's not really doing much. They're getting some things set up, but they've put their first 2 energy drops onto a Dragonair that is potentially going to be knocked out if they don't do something very soon. And they only have 4 cards in hand, have not played a draw supporter yet. In fact, played a non-draw supporter last turn. That didn't find them Shaman or any other way to draw cards, so I'm not feeling too bad about the situation. Roaring Skies, I think, is going to do a lot of interesting things for the game. Ooh, Pokemon Center League, that was clutch. Versus Seeker. I think I'd rather actually give our opponent more cards. Huh. Don't know if I can afford to discard 3 darks though. Let's just go ahead and end. There's a. Let's drop one of the Malamars. Let's attach to it. And let's Shaman for 3. Do we need to drop the Darkrai here? Probably can't hurt. Both our Shamans are on board. This is certainly a deck that would benefit from Skyfield, I think. As you can see, we have an almost full bench here. I guess dropping the Darkrai can't hurt. And let's go ahead and Quaking Punch for 50. And they wake up. And actually, being able to paralyze us is kind of strong here. Not being able to play items is big, of course, but we don't have a Shaman. Actually, that might have been a reason not to play Dark. We don't have a Shaman on board. Keldeo on board. We have 2 Shamans, actually. So that actually might come back to hurt us. Double Dragon Energy. Another top card from the new set. Let's attach here. And Colress for 9. Muscle Band, my other guy. Do I need to worry? Double Dragon on this guy with I have 50. Don't think I need to worry about switching just yet. And I will take the knockout here. So now we're evening things up. Assuming our opponent doesn't knock us out this upcoming turn, we are evening things up, taking a prize for a prize. A lot of these decks that focus on non-EX Pokemon are inherently less powerful, but then get an edge because they're knocking out EXs, whereas you're only knocking out a non-EX. So for every 1 prize you take, they're taking 2. Flareon and Night March are both decks that take advantage of this. You know, the cards aren't very strong, but when in this combination of being able to take 2 prizes before you can even take 1, it's really quite effective. So our opponent... Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and switch to a Seismitoad. And nothing super big going on, so I think we'll just computer search a Jirachi and a Verba. Actually, well, that was a mistake. We should have computer searched the Headringer away. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and take a laser to give us this knockout. And then I guess Versus Seeker for Colress is fine. Don't want to go through too many resources here. Yeah, it didn't change a whole lot for us, though. We could put our opponent to sleep if we want, but I don't think we want to do that this turn. So let's just go ahead and attach. I wonder if we actually do attach the Malamar to just have bigger potential Maximars in the future. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And now we're actually ahead. We've taken 2 prizes before our opponent can take 2, and it looks like we're gonna maybe be able to take a 3rd prize as well, which is really great for us. Kind of just invalidates their strategy. Ooh, nice! They hit the heads, get to draw on 7 cards. Birch is also a card that I assume we'll see a lot more play once things like N are rotated and Colress and all that. So let's actually use the Malamar to good effect. And no reason to get rid of any of their cards right at the moment. Let's just Quaking Punch. Alright. They wake up, so far our opponents are 2-0-1 flips, but can't be too worried. We basically got it for free, you know, we're getting we're putting them to sleep for the sake of an energy attachment when we don't need any other energy on board, and every energy we attach to the Malamar, excuse me, actually can come back and give us an advantage. Alright, so I think 50 hit points. I'm trying to decide whether we should attach to the Malamar, try and find a switch effect, or just attach to the Seismitoad and retreat. I think we're actually fine to just take the risk. We'll Ultra Ball away our other Malamar and a Head Ringer. We'll find whatever, that's fine. And then we'll end. I guess actually off the Ultra Ball, it's best to just not find anything there if you're trying to play perfectly. We just no reason to reveal information to our opponent. Our opponent can assume we're playing things like Keldeo, but no reason to just give them that information for free. Let's go ahead and attach this Muscle Band here. And Quicking Punch. If they don't wake up, it's going to be huge for us. They don't. So now the deck's kind of functioning as it's supposed to. Our opponent cannot play items. They can't play Switch, Escape Rope, Scoop Up Cyclone, any of that. And they are asleep, so they cannot attack. This Skyline might get something interesting that allows our opponent to get out of this, but they will be knocked out next turn, taking our third prize as well as 3 energy, one of which is a special energy. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn. And I'm inclined to actually fire off this end now that our opponent wasted a turn skyling for a Birch. And now they're at parity on cards. So actually maybe I don't. Maybe I would rather them just get to play the Birch and maybe miss. That's a possibility. So I don't think I play anything. Yeah, I think I just wait. Although N does actually stop being relevant at this point. Although no, so I'm going to go ahead and just Quaking Punch because whatever I draw next turn, I can Ultra Ball away the N and that card for a Seismitoad, play it, DC, and then Juniper. Also the prize too, I forgot to get the prize, which is actually Seismitoad, so that works out perfectly. So could have played the N there. It's just going to be more and more dead, but let's hope our opponent misses on this Birch. And they do. So they still get to reset their hand to 4 cards. You know, that we could have set them down to 5, they draw, they go to 6, and they don't draw anything, but I'm fine taking the risk there. And we're not even KO'd. At this point, I am going to go ahead and attach here, retreat, retreat here. Whoops. So retreat to this Pokemon. There we go. Do I want to play anything? Don't think so. I think I'd rather just conserve resources. So there's a Quaking Punch. Opponent's up to 4 cards. So yeah, as I was saying, I think Roaring Skies is going to do a lot for the game, but I'm not sure if it's going to be all good or all bad, but certainly going to be interesting. Now that we have to... I guess we'll actually wait first. I was going to say we could potentially fire off the Versus Seeker Lysander's trump card, but I think we should wait until we have a Seismitoad in the deck, or in the discard pile, which is going to happen soon. There's a Dragonair from our opponent. Yeah, still not really inclined to fire off any of these cards. I guess I'm actually gonna... I lied. I'm actually gonna Ultra Ball and take... And... No, I'll take a Seismitoad. No, I'll take an Yveltal. Just thin out my deck a bit. There's no reason with the Versus Seeker in hand that I'll be forced to Juniper if I don't want to, so just going to go ahead. Lasers are a good draw of the prize. Definitely accelerate a little bit. 2 to 5 prizes. We have a Seismitoad up. Both Seismitoads actually can get pretty easily knocked out, but I'm not too worried about that. We have a Malamar as a backup attacker, so yeah, I think we're firmly in the driver's seat. Oh, and there's the Dragonite in all its glory. It's laser. And now I think I will take the trump card and Quaking Punch. Putting all their resources back in their deck does help them, but it also clogs it up with a lot of things like Dragonairs and Dratinis that they're just not going to be able to play, as well as items they're not going to be able to play. Putting in the double Dragon energies I don't like seeing, but I think we're so far ahead at this point that I think it's a benefit to us. And like they're playing the Pokemon fan club here, and that's not a high impact play for them. We have 2 prizes left, and I just don't, they want to be drawing lots of cards, getting things going, and they're not going to be able to. Dragonite EX is interesting, but with no energy on the field, yeah, our opponent concedes. So yeah, I think our opponent's deck definitely didn't go off like it was supposed to. Ours didn't quite either, although we did get a fine setup by turn 2 or 3. So yeah, interesting deck, but I'm just not sure that kind of strategy is good right now, because I think that if you're going to play non-EXs, you need to have a fast, aggressive way of doing things like the Flareon and Night March decks do, and I don't think you can play both non-EX, less powerful cards that are stage 2s and require lots of energy. So we'll see you in round 2.